We've done a lot of yapping. So now let's hear from you.
Yeah, we haven't really talked to the people.
No, let's talk to the people. Let's go to Griffin in Connecticut. Griffin.
Hey, guys. Michael, I have a question. You two have been around the station, you and Don, for a while. Over this weekend, I was thinking, because I've seen a lot of comments about blaming Aaron Boone for everything. They hate Aaron Boone for this. They hate Aaron Boone for that. Do you feel like the Yankee fans have hated? I know you say they hated Joe Girardi too, but do you feel like they've hated Aaron Boone since day one more than they hate Joe Girardi? I want to know what you two think, because I feel like he's got more of the hate than I think any Yankee manager has ever gotten.
Listen, it's not an exact science. I think that the megaphone is louder because of social media.
Yes.
So people that don't like him could certainly say they don't like him. The one thing that Aaron doesn't have that Joe Girardi has is a world championship. And also, Joe Girardi won 3 World Series titles with the Yankees as a player. So he's going to be looked at more fondly. But Don and I were taking phone calls during that run, and at that time they hated Joe Girardi. I'm sorry.
They hated Joe Girardi. They were down on Joe towards the end. I think Joe lost a lot after blowing a 3-0 series lead to the Red Sox. But I think part of it's social media, but I think part also they expected so much more from Boone because they let Joe go after going to Game 7 of the League Championship Series. So that sent up a flag like, all right, we're expecting to win, and now it's 8 years, and they're still waiting for that championship. And I think that's what kills Boone, replacing a guy that looked like he was on the verge of going to the World Series, and Boone hasn't been able to do that yet.
I just think that I shouldn't say expectations, because expectations should be high. That's what's sold. But the way he's viewed, like, there are people that were blaming him for that loss yesterday. Why not blame Clay Holmes? He managed perfectly. He started Game 6. Right. He went to 2 relievers that gave him scoreless innings, and then he went to his closer. I've always said Mike Hargrove, in my opinion, won a World Series with Cleveland. He got the ball to Jose Mesa in the 7th game of the 9th inning. That's all a manager could do. Then it's up to the player to do it. Don't blame Boone on that.
Or the fact that they couldn't score any runs yesterday, even against the Tigers' bullpen until they got to the extra innings. So there's a lot of reasons why you lose a game, but Boone is the guy that was supposed to do better than Girardi, and he hasn't. He hasn't won the title. He hasn't gone as far as Girardi did in his last year, so that put the crosshairs clearly on him. And, of course, Cashman's getting beat up, too, because he didn't find a closer during the deadline, or at least add enough to the bullpen to give you options, because I do think it's option time. I think the next time they've got to close a game, like tomorrow, it might be a good idea to try somebody else than Clay Holmes.
And they might. I don't know if they'll come out and say it, but I just there's no way, with however many games there are left in the season, that they will just obediently, robotically go to Holmes to close a game. They can't. He's blown 10 saves. And I know some of the saves have been somewhat, and by the way, we're in the middle right now. I don't know if you know it. The Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. Some of the games dinked and doinked his way into a loss, a blown save. Not yesterday. There are a lot of games. Not the game against the Texas Rangers, which didn't count as a blown save, but he had to throw 40 pitches to get out of it. There were 2 outs, nobody on, and it got out of hand. There's something that's not right there. There's something that's not right. Now, I know we're all spoiled by Mariano Rivera. I get it. I understand. We're never going to have Mariano Rivera walk through that door again. But the bottom line is you cannot continue to do the same thing over and over and then act shocked if Clay Holmes blows the save.
But the problem is, and this doomed the Mets yesterday with the soft contact, especially, and this is why the Yankees do not do well in extra innings. You said it earlier in the show. So Clay Holmes has to come in a save situation with a runner at second base.
No, he was he was in the 9th.
Well, the 9th inning. But in extra innings, you're coming in with a runner at second base. So any contact is going to put the opposition in a position to win the game. Now, they lead off with a double in the 9th inning. That was what happened. So he's got to run a second. But that's his fault.
That's his fault.
But
they kept saying, well, one bad pitch. Sorry, you made it.
But now, with a runner at second base and 2 outs, if you don't have a strikeout pitcher, then any ball in play is going to advance the runner, is going to find a seam, and all of those hits could have very easily been at somebody and get you out of it. But once a ball's in play, Michael, there's a chance it's going to get through. You need a closer that can strike out, and they don't have a guy that can strike you out.
Let's go to Richard in Manhattan.
Hey,
hello, Richard.
Michael, I hate to say, you just contradicted yourself. You said that he brought him. Boone brought in Holmes. What do you want him to do? He's got to realize that he's not automatic. He's blown 10 saves. You just contradicted yourself.
How am I contradicting myself? That's not the way. I said they've got to change now. He's the going into yesterday. He was the closer. That's the way it's done.
Oh, so yesterday was a determinant.
What was it? I think it's a big deal. 10 saves.
Okay. The other one. Okay, Michael. Here's my point. I looked up the word relief. Relief means to ease the pain. Now he brought in. He brought in yesterday.
Weaver and Kahnle.
Weaver was great, perfect. Why did you have to take him out?
Because Richard, you're asking questions you know the answer to. That's the way it's done in baseball now. Everybody has their lane. But everybody has their lane.
If you repeat the same thing over and over, it's going to fail.
But everybody has their lane. I think that moving forward, as they get into the playoffs, they're going to have to close by committee.
Michael, that's what I'm suggesting. Here's my
But you want to use Weaver by 2 innings, and then he's not going to be used on Tuesday.
I didn't say that either, Michael. I said you leave Weaver in for 22 pitches. That's all. He went 12 perfectly. You leave him in until he screws up or 22 pitches.
But that's not the way it's done.
Well, but you're saying if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get different results. Now you're telling me something else.
No, I'm not, because there's no way. There is no way, Richard, that they are going to use Tommy Kahnle or Luke Weaver for 3 innings because they're pitching well. That's not the way it's. But you just said,
Michael, I didn't say that. You leave the pitcher in until he's unsuccessful, or he throws.
And then if he left the pitcher in and he's unsuccessful, you'd be calling the next day. Why are you leaving Weaver to be unsuccessful?
No, Michael, I wouldn't.
Oh, come on.
Michael,
come on. You're a great second guesser.
Wait a minute.
I've been saying this all year for 3 years. Just like 2 years ago, I said, why isn't Judge batting third instead of leading off? And Aaron said to me, Richard, don't yell at me. Here's the point, Michael. If Weaver goes 12 pitches, there's no law that says he can't go into the next inning and throw a few more and see how successful. Then you bring in Kahnle, and then you see how long he can go. The minute the guy does not have it, you just bring him.
But Richard, moving forward, that might be an option. But until further,
it's not working.
All right, but at that particular moment yesterday, your closer is available, and he blew the save. So now you got to probably open the door.
He's 26 for 36, Don. That's 70%. That's not good. I'm not blaming Holmes, but you can't put him in a position. But
wait a second. How do you not blame Holmes? You gave him a clean inning to come in and save the game.
Because you set him up to fail. The 2 other guys were perfect.
First of all, he was an all-star, and I don't want to sit here and defend it, but you're saying it's not working out. They're tied for first. Hey, be quiet. Okay, wait a second. Richard, we're having a conversation. They are tied for first place in the American League East. How much is it not working out?
Michael, that's something else. Now,
why is it something
specific.
else? But that's the most important thing.
I'm being analytical. I'm telling you. You let the guy pitch 22 pitches.
You know what? You wouldn't get it. Okay, so that's what you feel. You would not get a job in the big leagues as a manager. You are an old-time baseball fan. I'm not going to rip you for it, but you think that's what Goose Gossage came in 78 and pitched almost 3 innings to save the game. It cannot happen in 2024.
Here's what gets lost. Richard just mentioned the stat. All right. 30% of the time he's going to blow the save based on his blown saves and the opportunities.
Right.
What do we know what Weaver can do in a second inning? Now he's got to pitch in the ninth inning. Well, but I'm saying they know. They know.
All right. But Michael, can I reference one more thing that Jody said?
I don't know what.
Don's talking to you. Listen to Don's point.
But I'm throwing the analytics back to you. They know what the chances are. All right, all you have to do is say goodbye. Thank you for the phone call. No, I am not going to do this. I had a nice vacation. I enjoyed my family. And now I come back, and I'm going to sit there and argue with Richard. And he doesn't listen. And he doesn't let you finish your thought. And it happens every single time. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That was insane. You said just let him just hear his point. And Don, how many words did he get in, Don?
None.
No, he got like 6 words in, I think, before he made a sound that I've never heard from him before.
Let's go to Wilson in Middletown.
Right.
Wilson.
Is this the volleyball?
Don't bring it up.
Yes.
Very emotional.
Hello, Wilson.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you
Yeah,
got?
we're doing great today.
Yes. I'm talking about, you were talking about Holmes, the reliever. Have you noticed that every time Stroman leads the game with a lead, it could be 1-1 lead, it could be 3-1 lead, and Holmes comes to save that game, he blows that game.
So it's personal against Stroman.
Yeah, could be.
Okay,
Yeah, real quick,
we're doing a lot of things.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
We're moving to a new signal.
Yeah, 880.
There's a lot of things moving around.
Let's move on with the phone calls.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's time.
Why do we need
It
it?
might be time. The first three were like, what? That's a segment.
So he just said
Go ahead.
I don't get
Take
to
us
repeat
through
that.
No, it should. It bears repeating.
Clay Holmes
Yeah.
blows Marcus Stroman saves on purpose. He doesn't. Yeah.
It's on
Well,
the
that's what he said.
table.
He
It's
said,
on the
he said
table,
did you
Mike.
notice that it's always...
and I didn't notice.
It's on the table.
So Holmes...
Do you also realize that of every pitcher in Major League Baseball, I believe that Nestor Cortez has had more blown wins than anybody?
Maybe
Do
that's,
they not like him?
maybe that's also personal.
Well, maybe a next caller will bring that up.
See, but I would. This is where I disagree with you guys. Those calls to me are more valuable than good calls.
Really?
Like, I don't care about a good, salient, smart phone call. It's not entertaining to me. Those two calls back to back. That's why you tune in, Don, to hear
But
absolute lunacy.
It's like S&M, though. They're painful as well.
No, it hurts.
There might be some pleasure out of it, but,
No.
I don't need my nipples twisted.
Well, there you got one of your drops, Peter.
There you go.
That's the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. For pain-free life, visit SamwellPain.com today. Wow.
I can't.
This portion of the Michael K. Show on 98.7 ESPN brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of White Plains, proud member of the Pepe Auto Group, the name you've trusted since 1968. Peter, Don obviously needs some help. I think he needs some better help.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought it up.